Do you feel paralyzed by fear? Does anxiety hold you back from opportunities? Are you tired of feeling afraid? Do you want to face challenges with confidence? Are you ready to conquer your fears once and for all? This guide is designed to introduce you to the powerful principles of Stoic philosophy, which can help you overcome fear and live courageously. You'll find insightful strategies that teach you to manage and eliminate fear from your life, enabling you to act with confidence and embrace challenges with a calm mind. Learn how to detach from anxiety-inducing thoughts and focus on actions aligned with your core values. Prepare to transform fear into freedom and live your life to its fullest potential. Are you ready to leave fear behind? Life is like the ocean. It's rough and full of troubles and things you don't know. How can someone ride the waves with peace and happiness? It's been a long time since this question came up. The Stoic way of thinking, which guides us toward peace and strength like a lantern, gives us the answers we need. The great Stoics taught us that the quality of your thinking determines how happy you are. They knew a lot about both people and the world. Marcus Aurelius, the king philosopher, said it so well. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. But what does it mean to keep this attitude when bad things happen? How can we change the things we do every day by using hard times to make us stronger? Stoicism is more than just a set of ideas. It shows us how to make our lives better in the real world. Perspective is important, being thankful is powerful, and living in peace with nature is very important. Knowing what we can and can't control is also helpful. Besides that, it tells us to be careful with how we use our energy. Seneca said that life is like a play, which is another important part of Stoic thinking. How well it is done is more important than how long it lasts. We can learn to enjoy the present moment, grow our inner garden of peace, and see life's difficulties not as problems, but as chances to learn and grow if we think this way. As we learn how to stay calm and happy in life, let us look to the Stoics for advice on how to deal with the problems we face now. Being thankful, having a positive attitude, and doing things that are good for our souls can help us not only handle life's storms with grace, but also show others how to do the same. This will make our shared human experience a peaceful and happy symphony. First, try to have a good attitude. First, keep a good attitude. Stoic philosophy says that having a good attitude means putting a lot of thought into how to deal with the hard things that happen in life. Our thoughts and feelings about what happened to us are completely under our control, even though we can't change what happened. The great Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." This principle shows how important it is to have a good attitude because it changes the way we see the world from one of bad things and defeat to one of good things and growth. It's hard to have this attitude when life is so hard, though. The first step is to understand that each situation is unique. Stoics do the second thing by taking on life's problems with interest and strength. This shows that they think every job can help them grow. In the Vietnam War, an American vice admiral and pilot named James Stockdale was held as a prisoner of war for more than 7 years. Now think about his story. Stockdale was able to stay alive and lead people through terrible situations thanks to what Epictetus taught him. There was another Stoic teacher who said that how you deal with things is more important than what comes your way. Stockdale could keep a good attitude even when things were very bad. This helped him and encouraged other prisoners to do the same. Being aware of our thoughts and feelings and choosing to focus on the things we can change in our lives is not avoidance. Having a positive attitude means finding meaning and value in our experiences, no matter what. Stoicism gives people the courage to have a good attitude. You don't just get through life this way. You live it more fully, with strength, growth, and a strong desire to see the good in everything. With all the issues and unknowns in the world, having a positive attitude can help us get through the worst times. It's not enough to just smile to have a good attitude. You have to train your mind to see opportunities in problems and to be strong when things go wrong. If you want to start having a good attitude, here are some things you can do. Being aware of yourself. To start, you should know how you're feeling and be aware of any bad thought patterns you have. The first step toward change is becoming aware of it. As the day goes on, write down how you feel and what you think. What do they say most of the time? You can choose to have a better attitude if you know what your normal state is. Remember to be thankful. Being thankful can really help you see things differently. Take some time every day to think about the little things you're grateful for. This helps your mind focus on the good things in your life instead of the bad. It can help to be thankful for simple things, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or the company of family and friends. Affirmations. Positive words that are good for you can change the way your mind works. Affirmations are brief, positive statements you make to yourself every day. They can help you deal with and get rid of terrible thoughts that hurt you. I am able to overcome obstacles, or I approach challenges with confidence and determination, are two affirmations that can help you. Put good things around you. Where you are has a big impact on how you feel. Spend time with people who inspire you and make you feel good. Stay away from bad people as much as possible. Add to your social media feed accounts that share things that make you feel good. Build a spot where people can relax and enjoy the peace and quiet. Get stronger. Having a good attitude doesn't mean you don't care about the bad things that happen. It means being strong and having faith when those things happen. Bad luck and mistakes are part of life, but they don't make you who you are or limit what you can do. If you want to grow, don't think about the mistakes you've already made. Instead, think about what you can learn from them. Train your mind to see problems as chances to get better. If you use these ideas every day, you can slowly build a positive attitude that will help you face life's ups and downs with hope and grace. Don't forget that happiness is a journey, not a destination. You can grow as a person and learn more about yourself that way. Number 2. Feed yourself with good words. 2. Give yourself food by saying nice things. Did you ever think about how strong words are? He said, "Wherever there is a person, there is a chance for kindness." This simple thought shows how words can feed the soul and be very strong. There are a lot of voices, messages, and views in the world. Surrounding ourselves with positive words is a brave act of self-care and strength. Words are more than just sounds, whether you hear them or say them. They have power over our ideas, feelings, and, in the end, our lives. The things we read, hear, and talk about, as well as the words we use to express ourselves, are all connected to our lives. How often do we really think about how these words sound? Do they make us feel good, inspire us, and fit with the good things we want to live by? Or do they show the fear, sadness, and cynicism that most people feel in the world? A big part of the Stoic practice of attention is being very aware of the words we let into our space and the ones we say to ourselves. Alexander the Great, another great Stoic thinker, says, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." The words we read have a direct effect on our thoughts, so we should be careful about which ones we read. The attitude we build is strong, optimistic, and based on virtue when we choose to feed it good words. Imagine what would happen if you began each day with an encouraging quote or a piece from a book that moves you. Think about how your thoughts would change if you reacted to criticism with nice things, whether it was from yourself or someone else. These words are not meant to tell us to ignore the hard things in life. They are meant to show us that we can choose how to handle them. Many people have changed their minds and, by default, their lives by following Stoic advice. Positive self-talk and daily affirmations are two useful ways that people have changed their lives with this knowledge. These habits help us remember that the positive thoughts and words we choose to keep in our hearts and minds can keep us strong even when life is hard. Let's ask ourselves, could the answers to these questions lead you to a life that is happy, peaceful, and full of meaning? Your wise words are welcome in the comments. It's easy for negativity to take over our thoughts and feelings, so it's important to keep an upbeat and powerful attitude. Getting good words into our minds is a strong way to do this. When we say positive things to ourselves or out loud, they can change how we see the world and help us reach our goals. Let's talk about how good words can make our lives better. Mind talk. Pay attention to the talk in your mind. What kind of thoughts do you have most of the time? The first step toward change is becoming aware of it. Pay attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself and choose to think good things instead of bad ones. Choose words that make you feel strong. What we say can make us feel better or worse. When things go wrong, say things that make you feel better about yourself and help you get back on track. Not just, "I can't do this," yet "I am capable and I will overcome this obstacle." Follow the same steps. It takes time and work to keep up the habit of giving yourself positive words. Repeat words to yourself every day, whether it's in the morning, before bed, or when you're worried. Keep a positive attitude. Repetition makes neural connections stronger, which makes it easier to stay positive. Use positive words and lively pictures to paint a clear picture of your success and happiness in your mind. Close your eyes and tell yourself nice things that will help you believe in your skills as you picture yourself meeting your goals. Seeing yourself succeed in your mind helps you be more driven. Spread happiness. Thinking happy thoughts can change more than just your own life. They can also help other people feel better. Tell your friends, family, and co-workers nice things to make them feel better. Sharing happiness not only makes your own life better, it also makes the group a better place to live. And finally, telling yourself nice things every day is a simple but powerful habit that can have a big impact on your health, feelings, and actions. By becoming more aware, using powerful language, staying constant, picturing success, and spreading happiness, you can use the power of words to make your life full of joy, strength, and pleasure. Third, take care of your body in general. Take care of your body in general. Have you ever considered how much your physical health affects your emotional well-being and mental strength? Stoicism's timeless lessons teach us that caring for our health is not only our duty, but also a sign of our virtue and knowledge. A famous Stoic thinker named Epictetus said that how you deal with bad things doesn't matter as much as how they happen. This strong thought goes a lot further than just taking what happens in the world. Being healthy means taking care of our physical, mental, and spiritual selves. When we're stressed, our physical health, which is the most clear sign of our well-being, is often the last thing on our minds. For the Stoics, though, the strength of the body supports the mind's and spirit's efforts. For example, working out regularly isn't just a way to get in shape. It's also a way to train your mind to deal with laziness and not give in to it. When do you work out not as a chore, but as a way to celebrate your body's strengths and see how tough your mind is? It's just as important to take care of your mental health. Two things that show you care about your body and understand how the mind changes how you think and act are mindful eating and meditation. When was the last time you savored every bite of a meal or took some time to just be with your thoughts without judging them? These easy things you can do will help you be present and aware, which are two powerful ways to strengthen your mind and heart. We don't see mental health as much, but it's just as important. Stoicism tells us that at our heart is how we live our lives in line with the virtues of patience, courage, knowledge, and justice. We find true happiness and a reason to live by pursuing these virtues. What are some ways you can use these values in your daily life to make normal things more like an expression of your best self? The Stoic view of health as a whole is not about being perfect, but about making your mind healthy. To live a full and healthy life, you need to take care of your health. There are other parts of health besides physical health, like mental, emotional, and social health. Putting your health first can make your life better, help you get more done, and lower your risk of getting many illnesses. Here are 5 things you should think about to stay healthy. A healthy meal with lots of fruits, veggies, lean meats, and whole grains gives your body all the nutrients it needs to work. Cutting back on prepared foods, snacks high in sugar, and meals high in fat can help you stay fit and not gain weight. It can also make you less likely to get long-term illnesses like heart disease and diabetes. Regular exercise. Regular exercise not only makes your heart healthier, but it also makes you feel better and gives you more energy. Try to do some kind of mild exercise most days of the week for at least 30 minutes. To get in better shape all around, do a mix of aerobics, strength training, and stretching. Enough sleep. Every night, make it a point to get 7 to 9 hours of good sleep so your body and mind can rest and heal. It's good for your minds, your bodies, and your defense system to get enough sleep. It also makes you less likely to have mental issues and long-term health problems like high blood pressure and fat. How to deal with stress. Do things that make you feel good, like sports and hobbies you enjoy, awareness meditation, and deep breathing techniques. It's good for your health to deal with stress in a healthy way because long-term stress can hurt both your mental and physical health. Checkups with your doctor. Make an appointment with your doctor for regular checkups to get health checks, vaccines, and tests to keep you healthy. People with health problems can get help and care right away if they are found early. This improves results and lowers the risk of issues. Don't forget to use these tips every day to improve your health. This will help you live a happier, healthier life. Keep in mind that little changes can make a big difference over time, so start these habits today to feel better tomorrow. Number 4. Learn to be thankful. Stoicism is based on a deep practice of gratitude, which means more than just being thankful for things you own. Knowing how everything is linked, having a great appreciation for the web of existence, and seeing the beauty in the ups and downs of life are all parts of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reflected on how short our lives are and pushed us to be thankful for what we have right now. His writing, "When you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love," sums up the spirit of Stoic thankfulness. But how does one learn to be so thankful, especially when things are hard or troubles come up every day? When you enjoy the little things in life, have you ever thought about all the people and things that make them possible? When we think about what we have instead of what we don't have, we can see what we do have. Being thankful in the way of the Stoics is a strong way to deal with anger, envy, and a lack of hope. When we think about what we do have instead of what we don't have, we let life's goodness flow into our lives. This doesn't mean we have to take unfairness or pain without speaking out against it. It just means we can choose to find happiness and meaning in the things we have control over. As an example, a lot of people keep a thankfulness book to help them be more aware of their gifts. Because it keeps us in the present and tells us of how everything is linked, being thankful makes our lives better. You can deal with the problems in the world better if you are thankful. Being thankful also makes the people around you happy and more upbeat. As we learn to be thankful for what we have, we accept the Stoic advice that real happiness doesn't come from getting things, but from enjoying the beauty of the present and the simple but deep gift of life itself. So, What will you do today to show your gratitude? Your ideas might help someone find their way. Feel free to share in the comments. 5. Make sure your goals are attainable. It's better to trip on your feet than on your tongue, a person said. Zeno, who is known as the father of Stoicism, said that when going through life, it's important to move slowly and clearly. This wise advice fits right in with the Stoic advice to set fair goals in the middle. This way of thinking values moderation and balance over the extremes of desire and moderation in reaching goals. Stoics teach us that it's important to make sure our goals are in line with our skills and the way our lives are always changing. But why is this middle road important, and how can we walk it well? Think about goals or resources that are too big or too far away for us right now. These big dreams can be hard to reach when they are too far from our reality. They can make us feel like we failed and cause us to get burned out. If our goals are too small, on the other hand, they might hold us back and leave us with a life of safety and unrealized potential. Where is the balance then? He made people understand that life is more like fighting than dancing. This picture shows the Stoic way of setting goals, which is an active way to deal with life's problems that need speed, strength, and most importantly, balance. Being able to handle life's ups and downs with ease and strength is more important than dancing through it. Set goals that are hard but not impossible with the tools and information we have now. This is what the middle road tells us. We need to know our limits and gently push against them, with each step forward adding to our skill set. Have you ever set a goal that was just hard enough to be fun? It made you feel refreshed instead of worn out. That's the middle road. Moreover, the Stoic middle path is not a set path. It's a flexible way that changes as we grow and as our situations do too. Being able to adapt is important in a world where everything is always changing. It lets us change our goals while still keeping an eye on them and accepting that life is uncertain. As Epictetus says, if we follow this Stoic rule, we can live a life of progress, balance, and happiness without the stress of unreachable goals or the stagnation of untapped potential. This rule can be used to both set goals and go after them. The middle path isn't just a way to set goals, it's also a way of life that is in sync with nature's ups and downs. Number 6. Try new things as you go through life's exciting journey. Stoicism says that life is not just something to get through, it should be lived fully and with awareness. One great way to do this is to start your journey through life with an open mind and a desire to learn more about new things. Someone who thought in a Stoic way was Marcus Aurelius. It is said that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. This idea shows how important it is to accept everything that happens in life and let it make its way into our inner fabric, giving us knowledge, strength, and depth. But how can we be more willing to try new things? What proof do we have that this way of life is good? Think about someone who decides to leave their comfort zone and move to a country with a society very different from their own, because they believe in the Stoic idea of accepting life's possibilities. Things happen along the way that test their patience, their ability to change, and what they thought they knew about the world. They succeed, though, because they face these difficulties with a Stoic mind and see them as opportunities to grow rather than problems. Still, why stop at just trips? In both the intellectual and spiritual worlds, Stoics are open to new things. Have you ever read a spiritual book that goes against what you believe or tried a different way of meditating that isn't part of your tradition? In the same way that the Stoics believed, these journeys into the unknown expand our views and improve our character. Seneca, another famous Stoic, said, "Hold on to your youthful enthusiasms. You'll be able to use them better when you're older." This advice is always useful because it reminds us of how important it is to stay interested in life and eager to learn, no matter what age we are. We discover new interests, learn skills we didn't know we had, and form deep bonds with others and the world around us when we try new things. The path of the Stoic scholar is not a straight line, but rather a rich, diverse trip that welcomes the beauty and doubt of the unknown. By actively seeking out new experiences, we not only do what Stoic thinkers say, but we also help write our own great story, one that is full of growth, wonder, and a boundless thirst for all the things that could happen in life. For number 7, do things that make you happy and cheerful. It's not enough to just wait for luck or good things to happen to find happiness and joy. Stoic thought is full of many colorful threads that show this. Instead, it's a planned trip and an active part in all of life's events through virtue and doing the right thing. Epictetus really got this. He said that what bothers men is not what they have, but how they think about it. But what does this mean for daily life? What are some things that we can do that will not only make our own lives better, but also help us connect with others more deeply? The answer lies in the very heart of Stoic practice, doing things that feed the mind, awaken the spirit, and link us to the larger web of life. Because it means giving your time and energy to a cause bigger than yourself, volunteering is a great way to show the Stoic virtue of kindness. Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "What we do now will echo forever." Volunteering lets us go beyond our own wants and needs and make a real difference in the lives of others. Being involved in the arts is another unique way to show and learn about the Stoic standards of beauty, truth, and goodness. We can express our deepest thoughts and feelings, connect with others across the void, and make a difference in their lives through drawing, music, writing, and all other forms of art. Do we not learn more about ourselves and the world around us when we make things? Based on the ideas of Stoicism, these exercises do more than just make people happier and more positive. They shine a light on the path to a life with meaning, relationship, and satisfaction. We not only respect the lessons of Stoic thinkers when we interact with the world in these ways, but we also help make the world a more caring, understanding, and lively place. Let us keep Seneca's words in mind. True happiness comes from living in the present and not worrying about what will happen in the future. The things we do and the decisions we make every day are what will lead to a life full of deep happiness and joy. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." This quote sums up the main idea of our trip. It's up to us to find the virtues that will help us deal with life's problems and give our lives more meaning. Let's follow these ideas and the way of the Stoic to have a peaceful, happy, and kind life. The day after tomorrow brings us new chances to grow and get better. A better life and personal growth are not just things we want. They are basic things we need for our general health. To begin, always working to improve ourselves helps us stay flexible in a world that is always changing. Life changes all the time, and you need to be able to adapt to stay useful and happy. By getting better every day, we give ourselves the skills and attitude we need to deal with problems and take advantage of chances. We can get used to our daily lives and get stuck in a rut when we don't change our routines or habits. But here's the thing, the world keeps turning, and new chances and problems appear all the time. Making a pledge to self-improvement isn't just for those who want a better life. It's also necessary to stay current, flexible, and, in the end, happy. Think about it this way. The things we know and can do are like tools in our toolbox. It will be hard to solve new problems or take advantage of exciting opportunities if we never get new ones or make the ones we already have better. We can confidently and easily handle the world that is always changing if we set aside some time every day to learn, grow, and broaden our ideas. This never-ending quest for growth not only makes us happy, but it also lets us experience things and reach goals we never thought possible. Now is the time to look at 15 morning habits that will help you live a better life. Get up early. As the dawn settles in, you have to decide whether to hit the snooze button or seize the day. Getting up early isn't just a matter of discipline, it's a celebration of taking charge of your life. It's about making the most of the quiet hours in the morning so that you can have a busy and important day. You make room for thought, planning and action in the quiet, which sets the stage for a day full of work. To be honest, getting up early is a big deal. It's about taking control of your time and guiding your own journey to happiness and success. As soon as the world wakes up, early risers are at the starting line, ready to learn and grow. Every morning is a new chance to live with purpose, just like every sunrise is a blank painting. It turns into more than just a habit, it's a promise to grow as a person. You take care of your mind, body and spirit in the soft light of dawn. You should use these valuable hours to do things that will help you grow and set the stage for a meaningful life. By making it a habit to get up early, you answer the call to be your best self and light the way to self-improvement. If you meditate in the morning, you might wake up with a sense of calm and purpose. It works like that when you meditate in the morning. Not only is it a way to relax, but it's also a practice that changes you and sets the tone for everything else. Before the busy day starts, meditation is a safe place to be in the quiet hush of dawn. You can get in touch with your mind, body and spirit there. The silence is like a blank painting, making it easy to think about yourself and be aware. Get rid of the things that bother you from yesterday and stop worrying about tomorrow here. It's a holy break, a chance to just be, and in that being, find strength and peace within yourself. You're not just feeling peaceful now. This sudden peace has real-life benefits. When you relax your mind, you can concentrate better. It will be easier for you to focus, make choices, and handle the tasks of the day with poise and calm. It's like the mental fog lifts, revealing a bright, clear awareness. But it helps more than just the mind. When you start to meditate, your body wakes up too, to refresh your feelings and give you more energy. It's like a gentle jump start. It gives you a chance to connect with your breath, which is the most important thing in life. When you do this, you use your body's natural healing and restoration power, which makes you feel refreshed from the inside out. Meditation in the morning turns into a habit that helps you connect with your inner knowledge every day. It helps you feel stable and ready for the day, no matter what comes your way. Writing in a journal. The quiet of dawn creates a holy place for morning meditation, which is the first rite of the day. It's not just a short break, it's a deep pledge to your overall health. Here, in the soft hug of peace, the mind can get away from the chaos of everyday life. There's no better place to be alone with your ideas, feelings and memories than in this place. Through this trip within, you can grow as a person and learn more about yourself. Meditation in the morning turns into a safe place to build inner peace and strength. When dawn comes, there is a quiet stillness that makes you want to look at your inner scenery. This makes you very self-aware and helps you accept yourself. It is a journey of reflection that will help you handle the complicated parts of your inner world with ease and understanding. For emotional balance and mental health, this trip is the building block. By doing this practice regularly, you build strength in the face of hardship and learn how to handle life's problems with calm and ease. Practicing meditation in the morning is like having a foundation that keeps you in the present. Mindfulness develops as you become fully immersed in the soothing flow of your breath and the feelings that are running through your body. This increased awareness lets you fully enjoy the wealth of each moment, free from the restrictions of regrets from the past and worries about the future. When you accept the present moment with openness and responsiveness, You tap into a deep source of peace and happiness within yourself. In the end, meditating in the morning turns into a holy practice that brings you into touch with your true self every day. It's a way to get to know yourself, grow as a person, and even have a spiritual awakening. Practice of gratitude. The calm hum of the morning is a great time to practice thankfulness. An upbeat attitude sets the tone for the day when you take a moment to think about what you're grateful for. Recognizing the blessings that you might not notice otherwise, the small joys, the helpful relationships, and the easy comforts that make your life better, is not the same thing as ignoring problems. Practicing thanks protects you from bad things by moving your attention from what you don't have to what you do have. Reflecting in the morning improves your inner core, which does more than just improve your happiness. When you think about your gifts, you learn more about your own skills and resources. Being self-aware gives you confidence, the knowledge that you can handle the bumps in life with grace and strength. It gives you hope and perspective when you're facing problems, knowing that you have the tools to get through them and come out even better. Morning meditation can be thought of as a way to practice awareness. You can feel more connected to the present moment by taking a moment to think about all the good things in your life. This increased awareness lets you enjoy every moment, no matter how big or small it is. This makes your daily life more satisfying. Basically, thinking about things in the morning becomes an important part of your health. Mindfulness, grit, and thanks are all encouraged. It helps you enjoy the good things in your life, deal with problems with courage, and really be in the present moment. Picture the day ahead. Imagine that you have an important talk planned for a normal workday. It takes you a few minutes in the morning to visualize things before you even go to work. Imagine yourself standing tall and sure in front of your co-workers, giving your talk with clarity and poise. You can picture their interested faces and heads nodding in agreement as you make your points clearly. By going over this situation in your mind, you can boost your confidence and calm any jitters that might come up later in the day. You refer back to the mental plan you made earlier as the day goes on, and you are in the middle of giving the talk. You stay calm and flexible, so even if there are unexpected technology problems or last-minute changes to your slides, you can easily get the show back on track. Visualization practice has taught you how to deal with problems in a strong way, which has helped you stay focused and give a great talk that your audience will remember. When you think about this experience, you realize how powerful morning meditation can be in forming your day and changing how things turn out. Without taking the time to picture success and get ready for problems, you won't be able to do well. Visualization in the morning can help you face any challenge, whether it's a work project, a tough chat, or a personal goal. It gives you confidence, focus, and a sense of purpose. A few quiet minutes in the morning can have a lot of power. You can change your day before it even starts by taking a deep breath and visualizing what you want it to be like. Imagine giving that talk with confidence, meeting your fitness goals with ease, or handling a tough chat with style. It's not just happy thought. You're making a plan in your mind for how to be successful. It's not just about feeling good when you do this visualization, though that's a nice bonus. It's about getting ready for anything that might happen. Imagine that you are about to face a possible challenge, like a tough meeting, an upcoming goal, or a sudden loss. Imagine that you can handle it with calm and creativity. You can boost your confidence and toughness by going over these situations in your mind. You train your mind to see problems as chances to learn and grow instead of as obstacles. Visualization is like focusing your mind like a rocket. You set yourself up for success by picturing yourself reaching specific goals, like ace that talk, finish that report, or just have a busy day. This clear sense of purpose helps you set priorities and make choices that are well thought out. You'll naturally be pulled to activities that are in line with your values and goals, which will help you be more productive and feel more fulfilled throughout the day. It's not magic to add morning meditation to your habit. It's about giving yourself power. By picturing yourself succeeding, getting ready for problems, and being clear on your goals, you set yourself up for a day full of purpose, productivity, and a good attitude. As you use imagination to change your world, you develop an attitude that is open to possibilities. This will help you be happier and more successful in every part of your life. When you wake up the next time, close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself starting the day with confidence and clarity. Think about the problems you might face and picture yourself solving them with grace and strength. You'll be ready for success and feel like every moment has a purpose and a chance to happen if you start your day with this focused practice. People really believe in working out in the morning, and there's a good reason for that. Getting up early is a great way to start the day, both physically and mentally. Whether you work out at the gym, go for a long walk, or do some yoga, it gets your blood moving and sends oxygen and nutrients all over your body. This gets you going and makes you feel refreshed. Plus, it gets you ready for the day by loosening up any stiffness from sleep. Exercise does more than just make you feel good. It also makes your brain work better. Extra oxygen-rich blood is sent up to your brain when you jog or do yoga in the morning. This helps you concentrate and get more done. Also, endorphins, which are chemicals released when you exercise, make you feel better and set a good mood for the day. How often should you do this? It is up to you. Most days, experts say you should do at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise, but it's okay if you need more rest some days. You need to find a plan that you can stick to. You could go for a walk every day, or you could switch up your hobbies every week to keep things interesting. Pay attention to your body and make changes as needed. If you push yourself too hard, you could hurt yourself. The most important thing is to stick with it and do things you enjoy, like a relaxing walk in the woods, yoga at morning, or a tough workout. Find what makes you want to do something. Getting some exercise in the morning will not only make you feel better physically, but it will also give you a boost of energy and well-being that lasts all day. Put on your shoes, lay out your mat, or go to the gym. Yourself in the future will be grateful. Your heart rate goes up when you do these things, which makes it easier for oxygen and other important nutrients to get to all parts of your body. This surge of nutrition not only wakes up your muscles, but it also wakes up your whole body, making you feel ready to take on the day. Additionally, working out in the morning can help ease any stiffness left over from sleep, allowing you to start the day with ease and flexibility. The health benefits of working out in the morning go far beyond the body. They also stretch to mental focus and emotional health. Whether it's a jog around the block or a set of sun salutations, getting your brain going with a burst of exercise is like setting it up for peak performance. When more oxygen-rich blood flows to your brain, it improves cognitive function. This makes it easier to concentrate and more productive right away. Endorphins are chemicals that are released when you exercise. These chemicals naturally lift your mood, making your day better and setting a positive tone for the hours to come. One of the best reasons to start working out in the morning is that it can change your life once you make it a habit. You're sending a strong message to yourself and those around you that your health and well-being are important by making time for exercise every morning. Making this self-care habit a part of your daily life will give you a stronger sense of control and strength over your life. Over time, as you see changes in your health, exercise, and general quality of life, this morning routine will become even more valuable. Basically, working out in the morning isn't just a short-term way to feel good. It's an investment in your health and happiness in the long run. The important thing is to find what works for you and give it your all, whether that's the soothing beat of a yoga flow or the energizing rush of a morning run. 7. Good breakfasts. Have you ever thought about how much a healthy breakfast can change your day? It's not just a feeling that goes away. It's a change in how ready your body is to handle whatever comes next. You can think of it as giving your engine a much-needed tune-up. It will get your metabolism going and give you energy all day. By choosing foods that are high in nutrients, like fresh fruits and veggies, hearty whole grains, and lean meats, you're not only filling your stomach, but also making your body stronger for the challenges of everyday life. It's a comprehensive approach to self-care that draws on the time-honored advice of Stoic thinkers who upheld the values of equilibrium and fortitude. A breakfast full of important nutrients is good for more than just your body. It's also good for your mind and heart. With every bite, you give your brain the vitamins, minerals, and chemicals it needs to work at its best. These work together to improve your mental focus, ability to solve problems, and emotional stability. The complex relationship between eating and mental health shows how large of an effect food choices can have on our general health. Eating a healthy food first thing in the morning can also help you be more thoughtful and appreciate the little things in life. When you choose and maybe even make your breakfast with care, you're showing yourself love in a way that goes beyond just nutrition. As a sign of thanks, we eat this food to remind ourselves of the plenty of food that supports our lives. By consciously and mindfully eating breakfast, you're not only feeding your body, but you're also strengthening your link to the sources of food that feed all of us. So, picking a healthy breakfast is a sign of self-respect and strength. It's a statement that you care about your health enough to put eating foods that feed both your body and your soul first. By doing this, you respect the Stoic ideal of living a good and wise life, knowing that the real wealth is in finding inner peace and strength. 8th, get used to accepting. It's powerful to love and accept the path of life. The Latin phrase amor fati, which means love of fate, is a powerful way to look at life's unpredictable turns and changes. It recognizes that life is chaotic and tells us to accept and be calm in all situations, whether they are happy or sad. One of the main ideas behind Stoicism is that this change in viewpoint leads to inner peace and mental calm. Because of this, we can focus our energy on doing good things instead of fighting things we can't control. Acceptance in this situation doesn't mean being passive. It means being aware of the difference between what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and emotions, and what we can't, external events, other people's decisions. By focused on the people we can affect, we take back control of our own stories. This gives us the power to use our time, money, and ideas on worthwhile projects instead of pointless ones that try to change things that can't be changed. Acceptance opens the door to strength, which lets us handle life's challenges with focus and purpose. Additionally, amor fati helps people appreciate life's natural riches more. As long as we accept every moment, good or bad, as part of our journey, we can grow a deep appreciation for the whole experience. We are more aware of how short life is, which makes it even more important to enjoy every moment and value the relationships and events that make up our lives. By doing this, we strengthen our relationship to the world around us and become more aware of how everything and everyone is linked. In the end, amor fati is a trip that changes you into a free and peaceful person inside. It sets us free from anger, sorrow, and stress, and instead tells us to welcome each moment with open arms and a strong spirit. Acceptance is something we can do every day to build strength, knowledge, and a deep sense of peace that lasts through life's ups and downs. This means we should follow the principle of amor fati, which means we should accept life as it is and enjoy every moment with kindness and thanksgiving. 9. Make a plan for the day. It can feel like the to-do list is a monster that won't go away, with arms that are always getting longer and threatening to pull you under. If you know how to plan your day well, you have a strong tool that can help you deal with stress. It's not enough to just write down chores on a piece of paper. You need to make a unique plan for your day that gives your actions meaning and purpose. Picture yourself at the base of a peak. You want to reach the top and complete your mission. Making plans for each day is like mapping out the route you'll take. Setting clear goals and putting the tasks that help you reach those goals at the top of your list gives you the tools and information you need to make the rise go quickly. Separate your big goals into smaller, more doable steps. Think of each step as a stepping stone on your way to reaching the top of your own Mount Everest. This organized method not only makes you more productive, but it also helps you be more flexible. Detours and problems that you didn't expect become minor problems that you can easily deal with because you know what your main goal is. But daily planning is more useful than just keeping things in order. It means making sure that the road you're taking is in line with your inner desires and ideals. You give each action a sense of purpose and meaning by choosing jobs that are in line with what really matters to you. It could be taking on a job that fits with your long-term work goals, or setting aside time for a call with a loved one to strengthen a relationship you value. Each choice you make during the day is like a brushstroke on a painting of your life. It shows what you want and what you believe in. Take a deep breath and remember this the next time your to-do list seems too big to handle. You have the power to turn that list into a plan. Set clear goals, list your top responsibilities, and plan how to best deal with them every morning by spending a few minutes on these things. You take control of your future, one deliberate step, one deliberate brushstroke at a time, by adopting the practice of daily planning. Remember that the summit, your goals and aspirations, is waiting for you at the top of each day's climb. And if you plan your route well, the journey itself will become an important part of the trip. 10. Get in touch with people you care about. In the middle of the morning rush, taking a moment to spend with loved ones is an investment that will pay off in the long run. Taking care of the relationships that make our lives full and healthy is like taking care of the green ground in our hearts. Prioritizing valuable time with family or friends strengthens the sense of identity and relationship, which is an important part of mental health. These times spent together, whether they're over a breakfast spread, in the middle of a meaningful talk, or just in silence, are like beams of shared warmth for the soul. They are gentle reminders that we are not alone planets moving in space, but rather important parts of a cluster of loved ones who will always be there for us and be our friends. The benefits of these links go far beyond just making you feel better temporarily. Strong social bonds made through regular exchanges with loved ones are a scientifically proven way to protect yourself from stress, anxiety, and sadness. These relationships change over time into our rock-solid support system, giving us comfort and peace during life's rough patches. Making these morning calls with loved ones a priority becomes clear as an investment in one's own happiness and satisfaction. In a world that can sometimes feel very lonely, it's a conscious recognition of how important human interaction is. We build a strong base of love and support that holds us up through life's ups and downs by carefully taking care of these relationships and creating a deep sense of connection. So as you start a new day, don't forget to reach out to the people who live in your heart. Hold on to these times of connection, because they are the gems that give our lives depth and meaning. 11th, show virtue. The best things in life aren't always big acts. Sometimes it's the little things, like recognizing all the chances you have throughout the day to be smart, brave, fair, and in control. These are the universal Stoic virtues. By following these rules in everything we do, think, and say, we gain inner peace and a clear sense of what is right and wrong. This helps us handle the bumps and detours that come up in life with ease. However, it's more than just a list. It's a chance to learn more about ourselves and improve. We become more conscious when we look for ways to incorporate virtue into our daily lives. We ask ourselves, does this choice really show what I believe in? This makes us responsible for our actions and pushes us to always do better and be more moral. Things that are good don't end with us, though. Following virtue is like using a map to find your way to a life with meaning. Not only do these ideals make us feel better, but they also encourage other people to be good. Kindness and caring are spreading through our neighborhoods like a wave. At the end of the day, following virtue is a road to becoming the best version of ourselves. Getting past our flaws and aiming for the best goals is always a task. But if we commit to these ideas every day, we start to grow as people and become more responsible. It makes our lives and the lives of those around us better. For that reason, every day is a chance to be good and get closer to being your best self. 12. Look for work that matters. Getting fired up is the best way to start the day. That's how you can find value in what you do. Think of the things you have to do as steps towards something bigger. Putting thought and effort into what you do not only gets things done, but it also gives you a greater sense of purpose that makes every day feel more interesting. Think about it this way. Being dedicated gives your work purpose. Each job you do is like a brick you put down to build a bigger picture. There's more to it than what you do right now. It's about the effect you have. When you link your activities to a bigger goal, you see how they affect things, which makes you feel good. Plus, being a part of something bigger makes you feel like you fit. It could be at work, with your family, or in the neighborhood. Your sense of purpose is strengthened by knowing that your efforts are worthwhile. It makes you feel like you're a part of something big, which is cool. Going into your work with meaning isn't just about checking things off. It's about living your life with desire. Even the ones that don't seem important have meaning. When you work hard at them, you get a sense of satisfaction that goes beyond the daily grind. It's about enjoying every second. 13. Show kindness to yourself. Think about meeting yourself every morning with the same kindness and understanding you'd show a close friend. That's the power of being kind to yourself. It means realizing that you are human, which means you are flawed and that you deserve kindness just the way you are. When you put self-compassion first, you create a safe and caring place inside yourself. It's like planting a yard where you can grow well. From this point of view, making mistakes is not a sign of failure, but rather a way to move forward. You accept your flaws as unique traits that make you unique. The song is about letting go of the need to be perfect and instead enjoying the beautiful complexity of being human. Being kind to yourself doesn't mean letting things slide or making excuses. It's saying to yourself with courage when you question yourself and forgiving yourself when you fall. How about this? If a friend is having a hard time, you wouldn't criticize them all the time, right? You would listen, give them a shoulder to cry on, and say nice things to them. Being kind to yourself is what self-compassion means. Being kind to yourself. First thing in the morning sets off a good chain reaction. It gives you inner strength and toughness that helps you handle life's challenges better. You can build a more satisfying life by developing a caring relationship with yourself. Accepting yourself, flaws and all, is important to find peace in that beautiful imperfection. So the next time you wake up, smile at yourself. Your path to happiness and health is now clear. 14. Be there now. When you wake up in the morning, you don't reach for your phone or start making a mental list of things you need to do. Instead, you take a deep breath and center yourself. That's the magic of being present when you wake up. It takes work to ignore the endless distractions and get back in touch with yourself and the world around you. Giving up autopilot and soaking up the here and now is what it means to be present. You shouldn't judge each moment. Instead, you should enjoy it for what it is. The sound of birds singing in the morning and the feel of the sun on your skin are just two examples of the many things that life has to offer. These daily things become clearer and more important. Being present isn't just about enjoying the sunrise, though. It also gives you the strength to take the day. You can approach jobs with sharp focus when you're fully involved in each moment. This gives you better results and a greater sense of success. For getting things done, it's like having a secret ability. This increased focus also makes room in my mind for innovation and real connections with other people. Think about talks in which you listen deeply instead of just waiting your turn to talk. Being present in the morning is an important part of setting the tone for a purposeful day, and you'll be better able to deal with problems with ease and enjoy the little things in life. It's like finding a hidden door to a fuller, more satisfying life. The best part? Not only does this good energy make your life better, it also makes the lives of those around you better. Take a moment to be present the next time you wake up. It could be the best choice you make all day. Reflect in number 15. It's important for your emotional health and personal growth to end each day with a short review on your ideas, actions, and experiences. It means taking a moment to be grateful for the good things that have happened today and looking for ways you can grow and get better. You learn more about yourself and your path through life if you value thought and reflection. Reflecting on your feelings, actions, and events can help you understand your behavior patterns and the reasons behind them. It gives you a chance to look at how you react to different events and see how they fit with your goals and values. By reflecting, you get in touch with your inner world and gain understanding and perspective on the things that happen in your life. Thanking God for all the good things in your life is a powerful habit that can help you stay cheerful and strong when things get tough. Encourages you to think about how full and rich your life is instead of focusing on what you think are its flaws or problems. When you recognize and appreciate the good things in your life, you change your outlook to one of wealth, which makes you happier and more fulfilled. Finding places where you can grow and get better is an important part of thought because it helps you set goals for personal growth and change. When you honestly look at your skills and flaws, you make a growth plan that helps you decide what to do and how to do it. By learning more about yourself and discovering new things about yourself, you give yourself the strength to accept change and work toward becoming the best version of yourself. You start the day by spending time with people you care about, having a laugh or a moment of quiet connection. This makes you feel organized. You make a plan for the day and prioritize jobs to get the most done. Throughout, you try to be good, kind to yourself and others, and fully present in every moment. As the day comes to a close, you think back on what you've done and how you've learned from any problems. That sounds good, right? This is why all of these things, exercise, healthy eating, relationship, planning, virtue, self-compassion, awareness, and reflection, are very good for your health. A morning sweat practice wakes up your body and mind and sets a good tone. Eating well gives you energy and helps you concentrate. For mental strength, staying in touch with loved ones is important. Making plans for the day gives you a sense of order and success. Self-compassion and virtue help you find inner peace and grow as a person. Being present lets you enjoy the good things in life and handle the bad things with awareness. Finally, thinking about your day makes you more grateful and helps you learn and get better. When you combine these practices, you get a complete plan for living a happy life. They are good for your mind, body, emotions, and even your heart. So why not try them? You might find your own way to live a healthy and happy life. Finding and keeping people's attention is hard these days because the world is full of information and non-stop stimulation. But psychology gives us a lot of tricks and techniques that can be used to change how people think, act, and make choices for the better. These tricks, which are based on sound psychological principles, help us not only talk to each other better, but also build relationships that are deeper and more important. Each trick shows an interesting part of the mind and gives us useful information about how to connect with each other better, from how important a real smile is to the power of expectation. By using these principles in an honest and thoughtful way, you can not only reach your goals, but also create a space where people can understand each other, work together, and be healthy for everyone. In this section of the guide, we'll look at 18 of these psychological tricks and explain how they work and how they can be used in personal relationships, work, and everyday life. We can improve our ability to make things better around us, communicate better, and strengthen our relationships with those around us by learning and using these methods. Trick 1. Names have power. In the worlds of communication and personal influence, calling someone by their name during a talk can make a huge difference. Even though this is a small action, it has a lot of power and meaning. A person's name is more than just a string of letters. It's the sound that represents who they are and shows their past, attitude, and, in many ways, their soul. It's more than just getting someone's attention when we call them by name. We're recognizing their uniqueness and suggesting that we respect and value them. When you use someone's name, you open up a straight line of contact that turns a general conversation into a personal one. When we acknowledge someone's worth without speaking, it not only improves relationships, but it also makes our message more powerful. But for this trick to really work, it needs to be used in a real way. It's easy to see when someone is being too manipulative, which can make people feel uncomfortable or suspicious, which takes away from the interaction's positive potential. Use of someone's name should be done in moderation and with the real purpose to connect with them. This can have a big effect at the start of a talk, when you ask a straight question, or when you say, "Thank you." It creates times of personal awareness that make the contact more valuable. Active hearing and genuinely wanting to know what the other person is saying go well with using their name. This strengthens the relationship and shows respect for their experience and point of view. This trick, even though it may seem easy, is a strong way to build relationships and have a positive impact on others. It shows that you really understand that the most important part of good communication is recognizing the worth and respect of each person. When we consciously use someone's name, we not only improve the way we talk to them, but we also show respect and understanding that can totally change how we connect with each other. The second trick is the smile. It is one of the most useful and underrated ways to talk to each other. It goes beyond language and culture boundaries and can show happiness, openness, and understanding without words. But we're not talking about any smile. This is about the real smile, the one that uses not only the muscles in the mouth, but also the muscles in the eyes, which makes those famous crow's feet. Everyone knows that this smile, which is sometimes called the Duchenne smile, means someone is happy and sincere. A sincere smile can put someone at ease, make an instant bond, and even change how they feel around someone. Studies show that showing happy feelings in public can have a positive effect on other people's moods and attitudes, creating an atmosphere of happiness and openness. Also, smiling can spread to others, starting a chain of good feelings that can make not only the moment better, but also the whole day. Consciously using an authentic smile in our daily contacts, whether they are personal or business, is a simple but incredibly powerful way to improve the quality of our relationships and conversations. It's not enough to just smile. You have to be willing to open up, be sensitive, and show that you are real. When we smile at someone, we let them know that we are glad to see them, that we value their presence, and that we are ready to connect with them in a good way. Remember that the smile should be used in the right way for the situation and should be seen as real. If you smile too soon or too hard, it might not have the effect you want it to. It might make you feel farther away instead of closer. So, when we smile, it's important to keep in mind both our purpose and how open the other person is to receiving it. A true smile is one of the most powerful ways to communicate. It can open doors and build bridges where words alone might fail. It serves as a lesson that even in the smallest ways, we can make a big difference in the world by spreading kindness, happiness, and real human connection. By using a real smile when we talk to other people, we not only use a psychological technique, but we also show kindness and humanity in a way that benefits both recipients. The third trick is to mirror. This is an interesting psychological method called mirroring, and it looks at how people naturally feel more linked and at ease with people who behave, speak, or move in similar ways. This effect, which comes from wanting to feel safe and at ease in social situations, can be a strong way to communicate if it is used carefully and quietly. People are drawn to balance and likeness, which is why mirrors work. This can make people more empathetic and trusting of each other, which can improve conversation and make relationships better. If you want to use mirroring successfully, you should do it in a way that is almost unnoticeable. The goal is not to mechanically copy every move or word, but to get the core of how the other person acts so that the copying looks normal. This can be done by matching the flow of speech, standing or sitting in the same way, or copying facial movements. When done with care, these things can help people connect more deeply, even if the other person doesn't realize it. They may just feel closer or more understood. It is very important that reflecting be done with honesty and care. The copy shouldn't be done to trick someone. It should be done to make a real relationship. When used honestly, mirroring not only makes conversation better, but it also builds respect and care for each other, which are important parts of any good relationship. Mirroring can be very helpful in business situations where getting along and working together are important, like during talks or team meetings. By gently copying a client's or co-worker's body language or voice tone, you can make the workplace more peaceful and help everyone understand each other and succeed. While mirroring isn't just a psychological trick, it's also a way of communicating that, when used with care and honesty, can turn casual conversations into deep relationships. When we mimic with understanding and respect, we can not only get along better with others, but our social lives will also be richer in a deep and permanent way. Fourth trick, the favor trick. A sneaky approach based on the idea that asking someone for a favor can actually make them like you more, which goes against the psychological principle of reciprocity. This thought became common and was named the Ben Franklin effect, after the famous story of how Benjamin Franklin took a rare book from a political foe and became friends with him in return. The idea behind this is that when someone does a favor for someone else, they feel good about it because they think they like that person, which can lead to better relationships in the future. To use the favor trick in real life, you need to be careful and think about the situation. It's important to ask for something small and sensible, something that won't bother the other person, but will still require them to make an effort. This request not only makes the conversation more important, but it also makes you feel like you have a stake in the relationship. It is important to remember that this method only works if it is used honestly and at the right time. So as not to seem deceptive or forcing, the request should seem real and come at the right time. Recognizing and properly thanking someone for a favor they did is also important for keeping the relationship good and based on reciprocity. When you ask someone for a favor, you can also show that you trust them by recognizing their skills or resources. This can make the person feel better about their own self-worth and encourage them to work together and respect each other. When used carefully, the favor method can be a great way to improve relationships, make it easier for people to talk to each other, and make groups that work together better. However, it is important to accept the other person's limits and liberty when using any method of control. The favor method is not a way to get what you want or to manipulate people. It's a way to start conversations and build relationships based on mutual respect. It can be a great way to build stronger personal and business relationships if it is used with honesty. 5th trick, the law of return. The law of reciprocity is a strong psychological concept that is very important in how people connect with each other and form social bonds. The main idea behind it is that when someone helps us, we have a strong emotional need to repay them in some way. This need to keep things in balance can show up in many forms, such as a gift, a favor, or even a simple thank you. People have a natural urge to help each other, and you can see it in different countries around the world. This trick plays on that urge. Applying the law of exchange to our lives on purpose can have a big effect on how we interact with other people. By giving something first, like a friendly act, useful information, or a small gift, we make it easier for others to work with us and improve our relationships with each other. This not only makes it more likely that someone will respond positively, but it also starts a good circle of giving and getting that makes our relationships and communities stronger. It is very important that this rule is applied with true kindness, not with the goal of making money for yourself. When kind things are done without expecting anything in return, that's when exchange really works. People are more likely to respond warmly and honestly when they think that someone is acting sincere and doesn't have any other intentions. This tends to improve relationships. People may see overly big actions as attempts to force someone to do something or manipulate them, which can make them feel uncomfortable or make them refuse. In the same way, knowing when to offer and how to do it in a way that makes the other person feel good is important for this approach to work. There is no need for reciprocity to happen right away or directly comparable. When someone gives, it often starts a circle of kindness that comes back to them in surprising and good ways. Being open to accept and having patience are very important during this process. When applied with honesty and compassion, the rule of reciprocity is more than just a psychological trick. It is a way of life that can change our relationships and communities. Giving to others without expecting anything in return not only makes our relationships stronger, but it also makes the world a better place to live. 6th trick, lack of something. This psychological theory says that things that people think are rare or might become impossible to get tend to be more valuable to them. This effect, which comes from being afraid of losing something important, can have a big effect on what we do and how we act. By using the idea of shortage in business or social situations, for example, you can make a product, service, or opportunity seem more valuable, which will make people act faster and with more conviction. When used correctly, scarcity creates a sense of urgency and makes deals seem more appealing because they are limited. In ads, while stocks last, countdowns to the end of a deal, or the fact that an exclusive item is only available for a short time, this can be seen. The most important thing about this approach is that it is real. Scarcity can hurt trustworthiness and cause people to doubt you if it is faked or seen as an attempt to trick people. To successfully use scarcity, it is important to make the value of what is being offered clear, focusing on both how rare it is and why it is valuable or helpful. This can mean focusing on the unique qualities of a product, the special benefits of a chance, or the one-of-a-kind experience that is being offered. The goal is to make the deal seem not only limited, but also impossible to refuse. Ethically, valuable scarcity can be used by truly limiting offers based on real limits, like the amount of time available, resources available, or access to exclusive events. This not only proves that shortage is a real factor, but it also shows respect for the intelligence and liberty of the customer or other person, making the interaction based on honesty and mutual respect. It is important to be aware of how lack of something can affect people, though. It can push people to act, but it can also make them anxious or put too much pressure on them. So, when using shortage, you should always think about how to balance getting people to make smart choices with avoiding manipulating their emotions. There is a strong psychological tool called scarcity that can improve interactions and deals when used properly and with a real useful offer. It creates a sense of value and urgency that is good for both the giver and the receiver. Trick number 7. Giving your feelings a voice. You validate someone's feelings when you acknowledge and accept them as real and reasonable, even if you don't agree with the reasons behind those feelings. By confirming someone's feelings, we show that we respect their point of view and experience, which creates a safe place for honest communication and healthy debate. As a sign of understanding and care, emotional reinforcement is a key part of both resolving conflicts and giving emotional support. If someone feels like their feelings are understood, they are more likely to share their inner thoughts and feelings. This can help clear up any confusion and strengthen the relationship between the people involved. To successfully affirm someone's feelings, you should listen actively, think about what was said, and acknowledge the emotion that was shared. It can be very strong to say something like, "That must have been really frustrating for you," or "I can see why you would feel that way." These words not only show that you are listening, but they also show that you care about how the other person feels. Emotional support means not judging someone too quickly or trying to tell them right away how they should feel. It's not meant to solve the problem. It's meant to recognize how the person feels. Acknowledging someone can be very helpful and comforting. It can help them feel heard and understood, which is often the first step in getting over emotional problems or fixing issues. It is very important to be sincere when using emotional support. It's possible for validation that seems forced or fake to have the opposite effect, making people feel alone or confused. Because of this, being honest when communicating emotionally is very important. It's a psychological trick to validate someone else's feelings. When done in an authentic and caring way, it can change relationships, encourage good communication, and improve mental health. It's a strong skill that shows respect, caring, and the ability to connect deeply with others. It also shows that feelings are real and important parts of being human. Trick number 8. Being interested. Curiosity is a strong emotion in people that can drive them to learn, explore, and pay attention. This trick involves getting someone interested and curious, which makes the offer, contact, or information much more appealing and interesting. By making people curious, you create an emotional hook that can help them pay more attention, remember, be motivated to act, and remember what you're saying. To use curiosity well, you should usually start with an interesting question, a surprising fact, or a story that isn't finished but makes the viewer want to know more. This can be done in a number of ways, such as using titles or openings that make people want to ask questions, giving people problems to solve that require courage, or slowly revealing information that keeps them interested from start to finish. To get people curious, you have to play with the unknown and the strange. This is because people are naturally interested in mysteries and things they don't fully understand, which makes them want to find answers and solutions. For example, this trick can work really well in marketing and education, where keeping people interested is very important for getting a point across or selling a product. There should be a mix between how much information is given and how much wonder there is. If there is too little doubt, people may not be interested, or they may get frustrated and pull away. Finding the sweet spot that grabs people's attention and takes them on a trip of learning that is both fun and educational is key. In order to keep people interested, it's important to give them a satisfying ending. Curiousness should lead to more information, a better understanding, or a more enjoyable experience. This not only thanks the audience for paying attention, but it also improves the link between the sender and receiver, making the exchange a good memory. When used correctly, curiosity is a psychological trick that can change how we take in and remember information. Curiousness that is aroused and satisfied not only improves conversation and learning, but it also makes them more fun, which helps people connect with the information or message more deeply and for a longer time. Trick 9. Making a halo. The halo effect is an interesting psychological trick that shows how our general thoughts about someone can change how we think about certain things about them. This happens when one good thing about a person, like how they look, their charm, or their professional success, makes us think they have other good things about them, like being smart, kind, or skilled, even though we don't have proof. This psychological trick shows how important first impressions are and how they can change how we see someone in many ways. We can actively use the halo effect to change how other people see us, whether we're in a social, professional, or academic setting. Putting on a slick show, keeping a positive attitude, and showing that you are good at one thing can help people have a better opinion of you generally. But it's very important to use this approach honestly, making sure that the image we leave is real and shows what we can do and why. The halo effect can be seen in real life in a number of settings, such as job interviews and social events. For instance, a candidate who does a good job of presenting and speaking with confidence about a subject might be seen as more prepared for the job, even if their other skills have not been directly evaluated. Another example is someone who is polite and friendly in social situations may be seen as more trustworthy and nice. It's important to understand how the halo effect changes how we see other people and how they see us. By being aware of this, we can take steps to make sure that our first opinions of others are as good as they can be, while also trying to get to know them better than first impressions. But we also need to learn how to think critically so that the halo effect doesn't make us judge people too quickly or without giving them a full picture. Understanding that a person's whole complexity is not summed up in a single good trait is key to having more fair and balanced relationships. In conclusion, the halo effect is a strong psychological trick that shows how important first impressions are and how they can change how people see things in ways that aren't obvious at first. As long as we use it in an honest and thoughtful way, we can improve how others see us and try to go beyond first impressions to get a fuller and more complete picture of the people around us. We can learn more, understand the world and other people better, and change our perspective by carefully listening. That is, you, with more knowledge and understanding. In conclusion, active attention is not just a psychological trick. It is a basic communication skill that makes all interactions between people better. Active listening not only improves our relationships and helps us understand others better, but it also creates an atmosphere of respect, understanding, and teamwork that is good for everyone. Trick 11. Use the law of contrast. A psychological concept called the law of contrast shows how we notice differences between two things when they are shown one after the other. Basically, when we put two things, thoughts, or events next to each other, we tend to judge the second one based on how it compares to the first one. This can make the differences between them seem much bigger, For instance, if you put one hand in cold water and then put it in room temperature water, the room temperature water will feel warmer even though it hasn't changed temperature. The law of contrast can be used to have a big effect on how people think and what they decide in conversation, bargaining, and business. One example is showing a higher price for a product before showing the real price. This can make the second price seem even more appealing, even if it is high on its own. This happens because our sense of value isn't fixed. It changes based on what we've seen before. To use the law of contrast successfully, you need to know what the exchange is about and what your goals are. For example, in a discussion, starting with higher demands than imagined can make the later, more modest terms seem more fair, which can help both sides come to an agreement. In education, starting with a difficult idea and then making it easier to understand can help students value the easier idea more. But it's important to use the law of contrast in a way that is honest and follow the rules. Changing people's minds in a dishonest way can cause mistrust and hurt long-term relationships. The important thing is to give something of real value and use contrast to make that value stand out in a fair and clear way. The law of contrast also stresses how important it is to plan and present your message well. We can better control how our audience thinks and acts by carefully planning the order in which we share information, ideas, or offers. This makes our conversation more effective and helps us build better, more positive relationships with others by making it easier for them to understand and respect what we have to give. To sum up, the law of contrast is a strong psychological tool that can help us connect, convince, and affect others more effectively if we use it with care and honesty. We can make a big difference in how people see our words, goods, or services by knowing and using this idea. This will lead to more productive interactions and better results. Trick 12. How touch can heal. The power of touch looks at how small amounts of physical touch can have big effects on how people think and behave. The idea behind this psychological trick is that a light touch can show trust, understanding, and help people feel more connected to each other. Touch can be a very effective way to show love, respect, and understanding in human interactions without words. A strong handshake, a touch on the arm during a talk, or a warm hug can make people feel much more trusting and willing to work together. In a business setting, shaking hands at the start and end of a meeting can be more than just a nice practice. It can also be a way to build a stronger relationship and show that you can be trusted. Touch can be a powerful tool for persuasion, but it's important to be aware of and accept national and personal differences. In different cultures, what one person sees as a friendly act might mean something completely different. It's also important to know what each person's comfort level and personal limits are. Touch that is unwanted or seen as invasive can have the opposite effect of what is wanted, making the person feel bad or pulling away. To use the power of touch successfully, you must pay attention to and respond to the other person's body language. This could mean starting with more controlled actions, like shaking hands, and only moving on to more personal touches if both people are clearly open and willing to do so. Also, it's important to think about the situation and pick times to touch someone that can be seen as a sign of support or encouragement, like when you're thanking someone or giving them a praise. When used with care and respect, the power of touch can be a very powerful way to build relationships, improve communication, and help people feel like they are connected and trustworthy with each other. It's a warning that real relationships with other people are still very important, even in a world that is becoming more and more computerized. Trick number 13. The authority principle. The principle of authority is a psychological trick that uses the fact that people naturally follow or accept people they see as experts in certain areas or topics. This happens because we naturally want to know what to do and be clear in a confusing world. So we look for help from people who seem knowledgeable, skilled, or powerful. When someone is seen as an authority, people are more likely to follow their advice, choices, and views, even if they can be criticized. To use the principle of authority effectively, you must first build your trustworthiness. This can be done by showing that you have specific information, related experience, or a connection with other well-known experts. But it's very important that this power is based on truth and honesty. It's hard to get back trust that has been lost through lies or dishonest behavior. For example, a doctor who wears a lab coat and displays relevant diplomas in their office is not only following the rules, they are also showing that they are an expert in the field of medicine, which can make patients trust their judgment more. In the same way, when giving a business talk, citing relevant research or great past experiences can make the speaker seem more authoritative, which makes the audience more open to their ideas. But it's important to find a mix between power and ease of use. In addition to being knowledgeable, the most recognized leaders are also seen as caring and willing to talk and answer questions. This not only makes the authority figure more likable, but it also helps everyone learn and grow. It's also important to know how power can affect behavior and choices without you even realizing it. Famous psychological studies in the past have shown that blind obedience to authority can lead to bad decisions or inappropriate behavior. So, building one's own authority can be just as important as pushing others to think critically and ask good questions of those in power. To sum up, the principle of authority is a strong way to lead and influence people. It can help people talk to each other better, trust each other more, and work together better when it is used in an honest and responsible way. However, it needs to be matched with humility and a readiness to talk, so that power is always used for the good of everyone and their own growth. Trick 14. Being consistent. Consistency is a psychological trick that uses the fact that we naturally act in a way that matches what we say, what we believe, and what we've done in the past. This concept is important for building a strong and stable personal identity. It can also be used to successfully and quietly change the behavior of others. Cognitive dissonance is the psychological pain we feel when our actions don't match up with our views or past actions. This natural dislike to cognitive dissonance is what makes this trick work. Making a promise at the start is one way to use the principle of consistency. When someone says or writes that they are committed to an idea or goal, they are more likely to follow through with actions that are in line with that commitment, even if it costs them something. As a result, people try to keep up an image of honesty and dependability, because being consistent between what we say and what we do is often seen as a good trait. While selling something, this could mean getting a customer to agree on how important certain product features are, and then showing them how that product is the best way to meet those needs. Asking for small favors or promises can lead to bigger teamwork in the future, whether it's at work or in social situations. It is very important that the first promise is made easily and without any pressure for the principle of consistency to work well and responsibly. It's also important that the actions or views you want to encourage are in line with what the other person values and cares about. In addition to making it more likely that people will follow through, this helps build connections based on respect and understanding. Being consistent is another important part of growing as a person. As we try to stay true to what we said we would do, making our promises public and setting clear goals can greatly increase our desire to keep them. This shows that the principle of consistency can be a good thing, not just for swaying other people, but also for helping you grow and reach your goals. To sum up, consistency is a strong psychological concept that can be used to subtly but significantly change how people act and what they choose to do. When used with care and respect for other people's values and rights, it can be a useful way to build trusting relationships and get people to do things that are good for both them and the community. Tip 15. Use social proof. Social proof is a psychological trick that uses the way people act in groups to get people to do what they want them to do. This concept says that people often look to what other people do and choose to decide what is right or good in a given situation, especially when they are not sure what to do. Social proof is strong because it is based on the idea that the knowledge of the crowd can be trusted to guide people. This happens a lot of different situations, like when people choose a place based on reviews, or when they decide to buy a product that has a lot of good reviews. When we see that other people have made a decision or started acting in a certain way, we are more likely to do the same, as long as we think that the decision or behavior is good. To use social proof successfully, you should show well-known choices, reviews, or approval from groups that are relevant to the person or community in question. You can do this with customer reviews, recommendations from influential people, numbers that show how popular a choice is, or even success stories of people the audience may look up to or see as similar to them. People are more likely to believe a product or service if a lot of other people are already getting its benefits. This is called social proof. Likes, comments, and shares on social media sites are clear signs of approval, which makes other people more likely to connect in the same way. But it's very important that social proof is real and honest. Making fake social proof, like fake reviews or paid references that aren't revealed, can hurt believability and trust over time. It is also important to know that social proof has its boundaries and should not be used to push people to do bad or wrong things. Social proof isn't just useful for sales and marketing. It can also be used to encourage good behavior in social and environmental settings. For instance, pointing out how popular sustainable practices are, or how more and more people are choosing to live a healthy lifestyle, can give others the courage to follow suit. To sum up, social proof is a psychological concept that comes from our need to join and our faith in the knowledge of the group. When used in an honest and responsible way, it can be a powerful way to change people's decisions and actions for the better, which is good for business and for everyone's health. Tip 16. Use emotional contrast. A psychological method called emotional contrast involves taking someone on a trip from times of stress or trouble to times of happiness or relief. This trick is based on the idea that different feelings before an event make it stronger and easier to remember. For instance, the emotions of relief and happiness are stronger after a time of fear or worry, making the experience more powerful and long-lasting. When used correctly, emotional difference can be a strong tool in business, teaching, stories, and even everyday talks. When you start with a problem or challenge and then show them an answer or happy finish, you not only get their attention, but also connect with them on an emotional level. This emotional journey can make the words stronger, improve information recall, and inspire courage to act. When telling a story, for example, stories with problems that are solved are more likely to be interesting and rewarding. When advertising, showing a common problem like pain or trouble, and then promoting a product or service as the right answer can get people to act because they want to experience the guaranteed positive change. It is important, though, that the use of emotional difference is done sympathetically and honestly. People might think that someone is being dishonest or taking advantage of them if they try to control their feelings too much. This could hurt the message or the person sending it. It's also important to make sure that the answer is attainable and reasonable, giving people a real reason to feel hopeful and optimistic. Emotional difference is useful in business and conversation, but it's also important for personal growth and dealing with problems. When things go badly, knowing that they can be replaced by growth and a better outcome can help you deal with them better, making you stronger and more hopeful. Basically, emotional difference is a useful psychological tool that can improve communication, strengthen messages, and help people feel deeply connected to each other if it is used in an honest and thoughtful way. You can not only get people's attention, but also leave a lasting impact by taking them on an emotional trip of highs and lows. This will make them think, learn, and act. Trick 17. Being unique. Uniqueness is a psychological trick that shows how important it is to make someone feel special or unique in a certain situation. This concept says that people are more likely to get involved, take part, or invest in something if they think that their involvement is unique and important and that they can offer something that no one else can. Basically, appealing to someone's sense of being unique can improve the connection and drive because it recognizes their uniqueness and the unique things they bring to the table. To use the uniqueness approach, you need to acknowledge and praise the special skills, traits, or points of view that each person brings to the table. This can be as easy as making an offer or message more relevant to a person's hobbies, or it can be as hard as making chances or experiences that fit the specific needs of a person or a group. When it comes to marketing, programs that use tailoring to make messages and offers fit the behavior and preferences of customers can get better results because customers feel like they are respected and understood as unique people. In the same way, noticing and using each team member's unique skills can not only make work more efficient and satisfying, but it can also help people feel like they belong and are valued. But it's very important that any attempt to show how special someone is sincere and based on a real understanding of their traits. Sincere attempts to personalize or praise someone in a general way can be seen as fake, which hurts the strategy's success and could hurt the relationship. Additionally, while the idea of uniqueness can be a strong tool for fostering relationships and inspiration, it's important to keep this in balance with the idea of community and interdependence. Celebrating individuality doesn't mean ignoring the value of working together and making a difference as a group. In fact, recognizing the variety of each person can make the community stronger as a whole. To sum up, appealing to uniqueness is a psychological technique that, when used carefully and honestly, can make people much more engaged, satisfied, and faithful. By seeing each person as a unique individual and realizing what they bring to the table, you can create an environment of respect and recognition that is good for everyone. Trick 18. Looking ahead. Anticipation is a psychological trick that uses the exciting expectation that something exciting is about to happen to get people more interested and involved by promising benefits or experiences in the future. It is based on the idea that the build-up to an event can be just as exciting, if not more so, than the event itself. People stay interested and involved by waiting for what's to come because they are building tension. For anticipation to work well, it needs to build a sense of wonder and expectation, preparing people for something big, exciting, or telling. One way to do this is to use teasers, previews, countdowns, or statements that hint at what's to come without giving away the whole story. In marketing, for instance, ads for new products that use these methods can build excitement and buzz, which keeps people tuned in and interested. When telling a story, expectation can be used to build drama and keep the audience on the edge of their seats, waiting for the big reveal. When teaching, starting a subject with a challenging question or problem can get students more interested and encourage them to learn more to find the answers. It's important to find the right mix between how much information is given and how much is kept secret. If you share too little, people might get confused or annoyed, and if you reveal too much, they might lose interest. To keep people interested and eager, but also sure that the wait will be worth it. You need to find a balance. It's also important to keep the vows made during the expectation phase. Expectations give people hope, but if the real thing doesn't live up to the hype, they may lose trust and be let down. To keep your reputation and keep your audience happy, you need to make sure that the end experience or product is good and useful. Anticipation can also be good for your mental health, because expecting good things to happen can make you happier and more satisfied. Because of this, expectation is not only a way to get people interested and sell products, but it's also a useful way to make life more interesting. To sum up, expectation is a strong psychological trick that can increase interest, feeling, and pleasure when used wisely and properly. It's possible to make moments that people will remember and build stronger, more important connections with them by setting high expectations and living up to them. By looking at the many psychological tricks that can be used, such as the magic of expectation and the power of naming, it becomes clear how a deep understanding of psychology can change the way we connect with each other and our relationships. Each method, which is based on sound psychological principles, gives us a look into the mind and shows us how to have a good effect on ourselves and those around us. It's possible for these techniques to not only improve communication and build bonds, but also create spaces where people understand and care about each other more when they are used in an honest and careful way. It's important to always be honest and respect other people, and to use these tricks in a way that helps everyone instead of unfairly manipulating others or getting something for yourself. Knowing and using these psychological methods can help you communicate better, build stronger relationships, and gain a greater understanding of how people work. By giving ourselves these tools, we can more easily manage the social world, make deeper links, and make things better in the situations we find ourselves in. In the end, the psychological tricks we've talked about in this guide show how powerful applied psychology can be. These things tell us how important it is to go into every contact with care, knowledge, and a real desire to make the other person's life better. We open the door to a world of endless opportunities for connection, growth, and mutual understanding as we continue to learn about and use these concepts in our daily lives. Epictetus said, "It is not that some things are by nature good and others bad. It is our judgments and opinions that make them so." Stoicism is a way of life that helps us choose who to trust and respect as we go through life's many relationships and meetings. Let's look at some cases of people who may not deserve our trust and respect if we follow the Stoic way of life. Some Stoics believe that we should only trust and respect people when we have to. They say this because virtue is the most important thing. So, who should we be sure to respect and trust? There are 9 types of people who make it hard to trust and respect others. They make it hard to hear the truth and be honest. Before we begin, we should all ask ourselves, how do these people make you less likely to trust and value other people? How does Stoicism help us act in a wise and calm way? Not because we feel better when we are judged, but because we feel better when we understand and have knowledge. Get ready for an important trip. Every challenge is a chance to learn and grow, and every experience is a chance to learn how to live a good life. Leave a comment to show that you want to learn more about Stoicism's timeless lessons. Let's try to get the knowledge and strength to know when someone doesn't deserve our trust and respect, and let's work on building the traits that make us deserve it. 1. The person who spreads rumors. When people talk to each other, trust and respect are the most important links. The way some people act, though, cuts them off from the virtue of ethics. Clara, for instance, was known to like to talk about other people. Talking about it in private at first didn't hurt anyone, but soon it changed into a web of doubt and disrespect among her friends. Clara used to be someone people could trust, but now she was by herself, and no one could believe what she said. Being stoic means that what you say should reflect who you are, and talk goes against the stoic values of being honest and caring about other people. It breaks down society by making people hate each other and spread lies. Gossiping shows that a person lacks self-control and doesn't value other people's worth, which are both stoic values. Epicurus, a Stoic philosopher, once said that we should put more emphasis on our character than our image, because it reflects who we really are rather than what other people think of us. Because it hurts our character and our image, he said we should be careful not to do it. To talk to each other honestly and with respect, we need to watch what we say and make sure it's not meant to put someone down or start a fight. They should be used to encourage and bring people together instead. This aligns us with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with our true nature and establishing relationships based on trust and respect. This story about Clara should remind you of how bad talk is and how important it is to keep relationships strong. If we want to live a good life, Stoicism says that how we say things is just as important as what we say. It might seem like gossip is just idle talk, but it has a big effect on relationships and how people deal with each other. In this story, the main character is a person who spreads rumors and stories around the community. We can see how difficult talk is in how people connect with each other by learning about how it works and how it makes people feel. A lot of people use rumors to make new friends, move up in their social groups, and show how powerful they are. The person who spreads rumors uses this information to control other people and change their relationships and minds. Gossiping may seem harmless or fun, but it can hurt people's names, lead to fights, and make the people who are the topic of stories feel bad about themselves. It's important to know the moral effects of talk in order to lessen its bad effects and create an environment of trust and respect. Examining the role of the gossip maker and how gossip works in society can teach us more about how people act and how important it is for groups and relationships to be able to talk to each other in a healthy way. Second, there's the selfish person. Are people often mad at you or proud of how much they have accomplished? If that's the case, you probably feel hurt and insulted every time it happens. Most likely, these situations are caused by a narcissist, someone who cares too much about themselves, their pride, and their own wants, often at the expense of other people. We think of narcissism as more than just loving yourself. It's having a skewed view of your own worth and wanting to be the center of attention all the time. People may lose trust and respect for the narcissist because they only care about themselves and want to be praised. Just think about Damien's tale. Because Damien was an ego, he slowly lost the trust of his friends. Damien always wanted to be the star and didn't pay much attention to other people's work or feelings. He always wanted to be approved of, but he couldn't enjoy other people's victories, which made him feel alone. Others at work and with friends stopped hanging out with him over time because they wanted relationships based on equal respect and understanding, which Damien couldn't give them. Smart people like Marcus Aurelius told us that being truly self-worth comes from living a good life. People should not praise themselves, Marcus Aurelius said. He stressed living a humble and helpful life, because they behave in ways that go against the virtues of community and the common good. Narcissists do not merit the confidence or trust of the Stoic community. According to Stoicism, we should have interactions with people who treat us with respect, care about us, and are humble. These help people accept and respect each other. So, Stoicism tells us to be smart about our relationships and pick people who share our lives instead of taking over, even if we meet selfish people along the way. We are in line with the Stoic desire of a good and peaceful life when we do this. The third type is the jealous. There are people in the big stage of life who are jealous of other people's achievements instead of being happy for them. Watch how someone reacts when their friends or family do well to spot someone who is jealous. Does their face light up with happiness or turn dark with anger? Juicy people don't just want what other people have, they also dislike those who already have it. Think about Marcus, a skilled craftsman whose co-worker Julia got praise for her great work. Marcus was angry at Julia for being happy, so he put down Julia's accomplishments, which made their friends sad. Because Marcus was jealous, he did things that put him on his own and caused problems in their group. The Stoic thinkers, who knew a lot about how people act, told us that envy is bad for us. It was said so well by a famous Stoic. If you're feeling jealous, it can eat away at your soul, making you care more about other people's success than your own. This can make you less happy and more focused on your own virtues. Envy doesn't just hurt our relationships, it also makes us low-class and selfish. That thing keeps us from seeing our own strengths and connects us to the wins and failures of other people. There is no way we can trust or admire someone who is jealous, because their actions aren't based on virtue, but on a bad wish that breaks the community's peace and mutual support. Let us try to be people who are happy for other people's successes and see them as something to be inspired by instead of something to be envious of. This aligns us with Stoic ideals and creates a community of trust and respect. 4. The reviewer who is always right. There are good people in the world who can help us grow and become better people. We get better because of these people and the helpful things they say about us. But it's important to know the difference between good advice and criticism that you hear all the time. It's not always teachers who judge. Sometimes it's just people who don't have any good ideas. You might know someone who finds flaws quickly, but takes a long time to help. This person is always being critical. People who criticize others all the time probably say hurtful things that they don't mean to. Epicurus, a Stoic philosopher, asserts that criticism can be viewed through the framework of Stoicism, which is built on human development and strength. With the advice, "Don't explain your theory, live it," we are told to listen less to the words of people who are always criticizing us and more to our own moral and logical sense. Stoic values are incompatible with a relentless reviewer who constantly seeks out flaws without attempting to improve things. If we let these people's words stay in our minds, they can stop us from growing and take away our peace of mind and sense of self-worth. In other words, good criticism can help us grow, but feedback that doesn't change us often doesn't have the content that does. This difference is very important to understand. Learn to let bad criticism fall off like tree leaves, not affecting you. Take criticism that makes you want to be good and do your best. Let's look for leaders who are honest and have a plan. Also, keep in mind that you win respect and trust by being positive, not negative. Following Stoic principles not only shields us from the useless criticism of the eternal reviewer, but it also commits us to growth, resilience, and virtue. 5. The person who is manipulative. Alex lived in a noisy area. At first, Alex's personality and charm got a lot of attention. Alex, on the other hand, was very sly and often used other people to get what he wanted in talks and situations. Alex slowly turned into a more shady person. He spread lies to change the group's mind, or pretended to be upset to get support and avoid taking responsibility. People in the community who used to be trustworthy and honest started to notice the patterns over time. Alex's actions didn't always match what he said, and things always seemed to work out for the best. Alex lost friends and respect as people stopped trusting him, inviting him to events, and talking to him. His influence decreased. In the end, Alex was by himself, which was very different from the busy social life he used to have. Alex fits in with this group of people like everyone else. It can be hard to tell the difference between words that convince and words that control when we're interacting with other people. This is a very important difference because influence tries to teach and build knowledge, while manipulation tries to trick for personal gain. Manipulation has no real value and destroys trust and respect, which are the building blocks of real relationships. Stoic ideals, which place a premium on virtue, honesty, and ethics, are basically at odds with manipulative behavior. Stoicism tells us that our words and actions should be in line with these core virtues. This makes our relationships more trustworthy and respectful. These roots are broken when trickery comes into play, which leads to a loss of trust and, eventually, respect. How then can we use Stoicism to spot and avoid people who are trying to trick us? First, we need to work on developing insight, a Stoic virtue that helps us see past what we see and figure out what people really mean when they say or do something. We need to ask ourselves if these words or actions are good for everyone, or if they are meant to help one person at the cost of another. Manipulation, not society, kept Alex from making friends. It was a powerful reminder of the Stoic idea that what we do and choose defines us, and that there is no room for lying or manipulating in the quest of virtue. In every social group, there are people who know how to trick others. When dealing with manipulative people in your daily life, at work, or even in society as a whole, it's important to understand their plans and motivations. If we can spot these bad habits, we can keep ourselves and other people safe from them. Here are 5 important things you should know about manipulative people. People who are manipulative often hide their true intentions behind anger, charm, or even praise. At first glance, they might look nice and friendly, but they only care about what they do. People can trick you if you don't learn to read their body language and notice patterns in the way they act. Among other things, manipulators lie, make people feel bad, gaslight them, and play on their emotions. To get ahead or take control of a situation, they use their target's flaws and weak spots against them. We can stay on our own if we know these tricks. The act of influencing is caused by a lot of different things. Some of these are the need for money, power, control, or acceptance. Some people are cunning because they are very scared or have been hurt in the past. We can connect with someone and stay safe from their dangerous deeds if we know what they really want. Negative results of manipulation can be very bad, such as broken relationships, low self-esteem, and even mental harm. People who are manipulative often cause a lot of trouble after they leave. This damages trust and breaks down relationships with other people. The first thing that needs to be done to stop influence is to understand how bad it is. Defense plans. If we know what we're doing and are aware of it, we can come up with good ways to stop abuse. A few important skills we need to have are the ability to set boundaries, be more brave, and think more seriously. Putting ourselves around helpful and trustworthy people is another way to protect ourselves from manipulators. To make society better and more stable, we can learn what influence is and how it impacts people and groups. The best way to keep ourselves safe is to learn more about the world. The 6th one is the flatterer. Being honest is a big part of getting along with other people and earning their trust and respect. Some of us, though, have a trait called flattering, and it breaks this very basis. People knew that Thomas said nice things about other people too much. His words were sweet, but they weren't really meant. His friends began to doubt his praise over time, which caused them to lose trust and respect for him. His relationships used to be deep, but they got thin because he liked to lie more than tell the truth. Why do people who charm others seem doubtful and worn out? Stoicism tells us that relationships based on honesty and respect are the best kind. That's right, flattery is a lie, especially when it's too much and not achieved. You don't use it to encourage people, you use it to control them. That's not really to show thanks, it's just a way to get along with them. To be stoic, You should be honest and treat other people with care. This kind of behavior goes against those values. Stoic philosopher Seneca warned against the perils of flattery, saying that it exploits our frailties. It's because they want something that people spread flattery. They lack self-control and don't care about the Stoic virtue of truthfulness when they act this way. Because of this, we should be wary of people who use charm to get what they want, and we should try to build relationships with people who are honest and sincere. Also, we should fight the urge to be the one who flatters others, because being honest earns real respect and love. The flatterer is an idea that has been around for a very long time and in many places around the world. This subtle way of manipulating people often seems safe because of the nice things they say and do, but they are really up to no good. To get along with others, avoid being lied to, and tell the difference between real praise and sneaky influence. You should know how charm works. The illusion of affection. Flattery can look like real love or respect, giving the idea of warmth and admiration when it's not. But it's selfish because they want your favor, power, or an edge over other people. Ego stroking is a form of manipulation in which someone takes advantage of another person's flaws and fears to get them to do what they want or stay loyal. They make the people they target feel like they owe them something by stroking their weak egos and making them feel good about themselves. Giving praise to a narcissist feeds their ego and makes them think they are better than other people. People who charm get people to believe what they say by giving them comments and praise that are clever. Being dependent and being manipulated keeps going like this. Flatterers seem nice at first, but they're really telling you a lot of lies. They have other plans and goals that aren't public. Their comments and actions are carefully planned to help them meet their goals, whether they want something for themselves, more power, or to feel good about themselves. Being aware and skeptical. It is very important to become aware and skeptical because people often hide their truth behind charm. When someone flatters you, you can stay clear and strong if you trust your gut, question their intentions, and know the difference between real praise and planned trickery. This play, The Flatterer, shows how relationships can be two-sided, with thin lines between truth and lies, love and abuse. You can avoid falling for its tricks and instead build real relationships built on trust and respect by learning how it works and all of its different levels. Seventh, who was hurt in our life's big story? Some people always make the other person look bad. These people often put on a show of bad luck, not because they really need help, but to get pity and avoid taking responsibility. They are no longer in charge of their own lives. Instead, they are victims of circumstances and often take advantage of other people's pity. Let's look at Emily's case. Early on, Emily's friends felt bad for her, but as they learn more about this pattern, they start to doubt and dislike her. They know that Emily's constant feeling of being a victim is not a fact, but a choice, a failure to deal with life's problems in a free and responsible way. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." This shows how important it is to be strong and in control when life gets difficult. This wise saying backs up the Stoic idea that we can control our character and how we act, even if we can't change the world. That person is not being honest with themselves if they live in misery and use other people's kindness to get what they want or avoid something. Some of the virtues, like courage, understanding, and justice, are not at all like the strict man. It's not only bad for your own growth when you act badly, but it also hurts relationships because it destroys trust and respect. Support and understanding are important parts of our society, but people who don't want to take responsibility for their actions shouldn't use them. When someone acts like a victim, we need to be smart about how we talk to them and give them support that forces them to be responsible instead of letting them avoid it. By doing this, we support the Stoic ideals of personal responsibility and mutual respect, fostering a community where trust is gained through real interactions and growth for everyone. Add your thoughts in the comments section below about the types of people you deal with and how you handle them. Eighth, the person who doesn't care about other people. Having care and respect for other people is a big part of our interactions with them. We can connect deeply with others, feel their pain and happiness, and create a community based on kindness and respect when we have empathy for them. We can tell when someone doesn't have empathy because they don't fit in with the balance of human relationship. This lack of empathy slows the growth of a good community. Stoic thinkers who valued traits like modesty, courage, knowledge, and fairness knew that empathy was a key part of living a good life. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said that pity is the worst thing that people can do to each other. The bee gets hurt by the hive. This deep statement shows how our lives are linked and how important sensitivity is for the health of all of us as a human hive. People who don't have empathy see the world through a narrow view, only considering their own wants and situations and not considering how others feel. This kind of person, who isn't involved in the happiness or pain of others, doesn't add to the fabric of a caring and helpful society. Not only does their lack of empathy make them feel alone, but it also makes it harder for others to understand and care about their feelings. So, it's clear that we shouldn't trust or value people who don't have empathy, who can't put themselves in other people's shoes to understand and feel what they're feeling. Understanding is the foundation of trust, and mutual respect and shared values are the building blocks of respect. People who don't have empathy lack these basic traits. Finally, let's follow the Stoic advice to develop empathy, to understand and care about people other than ourselves, and to work toward building a society where trust, respect, and virtue thrive. By doing this, we not only follow the Stoic ideals, but we also help create a world where everyone is seen, heard, and respected. This makes the human experience full of mutual respect and understanding. A fundamental component of getting along with others and making friends is empathy, or the ability to comprehend and share another person's feelings. However, not everyone has this trait to the same level. Some people have trouble knowing how other people feel, which can make it hard to talk to them and form bonds. In order to get along with someone who doesn't have empathy and build better relationships, you need to understand them. When someone doesn't have empathy, they often have trouble noticing or understanding how other people feel. The way someone talks, moves, or shows their face might not help them figure out how that person is feeling. This can make it hard to get along with other people because they might not seem to care or understand how other people feel. Making and maintaining ties both require empathy. If someone doesn't understand, it might be hard for them to connect with others on an emotional level. People around someone who doesn't have empathy may also feel lonely or alone because of it. Communication issues. Empathy is crucial for effective communication because it enables individuals to understand and respond appropriately to situations from the perspective of the other party. If you don't have empathy, it might be hard to talk to other people in a deep way. They might act cold, uninterested, or even rude, which could cause problems or stress when you meet them. Different types of empathy. It's important to know the difference between logical empathy and practical empathy. Cognitive empathy means being able to understand someone else's point of view mentally. To truly understand and empathize with someone, you need to feel their feelings. Cognitive empathy is something that some people are good at, but not so good at feeling empathy. Other people may have trouble with both. Some of the things that can make someone lack empathy are their genes, the way they were raised, or mental conditions like autism spectrum disorder. Therapy, social skills training, and relaxation methods can help people become more empathetic and improve their relationships with others, but it might be hard to change how empathic someone is by nature. You need to have understanding yourself in order to understand someone who doesn't. Being patient, kind, and willing to see things from their point of view will help us connect with and understand them better. 9. People who judge. When you hear the word judgment, what comes to mind? In its most basic form, judgment is a thought or decision about someone or something. But when it comes to people, being critical means making a quick and often negative opinion about someone without fully knowing their situation or personality. Sarah is proud of how well she can judge people. When she sees Peter's simple outfit at a community event, she knows right away that he isn't sophisticated or stylish. She says this out loud enough for people to whisper, which makes Peter look bad and turns people off who think she's being too harsh. You might then ask why people who judge quickly don't deserve our trust or respect. Being stupid means learning, not judging. At first glance, it seems to say that everyone has their own problems and situations and should be understood instead of judged. Stoic sage Epictetus once said that because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, we can listen twice as much as we talk. This is proof of how important it is to listen and understand before deciding what to think. Sarah doesn't take this advice because she judges other people because they aren't as smart as she is, which isn't good for building trust and respect. Their choices don't help people learn or grow. Instead, they make things worse and divide people. To be stoic, we need to be careful, understand how difficult other people are, and be aware of our own opinions. These ideas hurt trust and respect, so people who judge quickly should stay away from them. The Stoic ideals of knowledge, fairness, bravery, and moderation should guide our lives. People will be able to understand and care about each other more if you help them get past criticism and argument. It seems that the saying, "He who walks with the wise grows wise," helps us find good company when we're looking into people who might not deserve our respect, trust, and trust. People like the jealous, the heartless, the constant critic, and the fake flatterer are not only people we should stay away from, but they also show us what we do and how we act. If we want to grow in virtue and peace, Stoicism tells us to find people like them, not just stay away from the bad ones. People who are Stoic say that we should choose friends, partners, and co-workers who make us want to be our best selves, who share our commitment to virtue, and who help us live a happy, peaceful life. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "The company of just and righteous men is better than wealth and a rich estate." As we go forward, let us be smart about the people we choose to travel with, because they will help us live a good life. Have you ever been hurt by toxic people and couldn't get out of their chain? It's like going through a trap, don't you think? Every action can set off a flood of bad feelings. So don't worry. This part will show you 15 smart ways to deal with toxic people by applying Stoic ideas. 1. Understand how important it is to know yourself. Being self-aware is like having a flashlight in the dark mind. Alan Watts was a writer and psychologist, and this saying shows how important it is to know who we are and how we connect with the world around us. Being aware of yourself is very helpful when working with toxic people. Being self-aware means being aware of our feelings, thoughts, and actions. It helps us understand how being around toxic people makes us feel and how we can better deal with them. Know thyself, says Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher. This means that knowing yourself is the first step to becoming wise and growing as a person. When we are aware of how the negative words of others make us feel, we can choose more carefully how to deal with the situation. When someone says something bad to you, take a step back and ask yourself, why does this bother me? What does this teach me? You're not supposed to use these questions to make excuses for other people. They're meant to make you stronger mentally. For a moment, try to understand that this road will not be easy. Self-awareness is hard, and it's hard to see through other people's negative thoughts. Some days it will seem easier to just respond and give back what was thrown at you, but that's only a short-term win that doesn't feel good because it shows who you are. Remember that you're not responding because it's easy. You're responding because it's the right thing to do, every time you do it. You should build a castle inside yourself, not out of pride, but out of strength and peace. It's not about ignoring bad things, but recognizing them without letting them control what you do. So take on the task. It will make you smarter, stronger, and more adaptable in the long run. 2. Work on keeping your emotions in check. Being emotionally stable is like having a foundation that keeps you steady when things go wrong. There are times when being around toxic people can make you feel like you're going through thick fog, where every step is unsure and your vision blurs. What if I told you there was a way to get rid of the fog? It starts inside, with the strength that comes from being emotionally stable, which is what Stoicism does. Think of someone who is always calm, even when things are going wrong, like a rock that stands strong in the middle of a storm. Recognizing that the only thing we truly have control over is how we react to the outside world is the key to this, not being cold or uncaring. Stoicism teaches us that we are powerful when we respond, not when we try to control things that we can't change. So, when we're around toxic people, we look at our inner Stoic. We don't join in the drama. Instead, we stop. Seeing the calm inside a stormy world outside is like being in the eye of the storm. We can breathe, think, and then act from a place of calm reason in this space. It's about changing our attention from what's going on around us to how we're going to let it affect our peace of mind. And one way we do that is by being aware. It is talked about a lot these days, but here's the secret. It works. Being mindful helps us step back and see the chaos without getting caught up in it. It's not about avoiding toxic people. It's about recognizing them without letting them decide our peace. It means understanding that these times will pass, just like clouds in the sky. Because of this, the next time you feel down, remember that you are the one who can bring you peace. Make the strong one. 3rd, make sure you set good limits. Building a wall that can't be broken through isn't the point. The point is to decide which doors to open and when. Not letting everyone in doesn't make you less of a person. It makes you in charge of your own world. Think of your energy as a scarce and valuable resource, like water in a desert. Giving someone a drink of that water is like every contact you have. Would you rather give it to someone who plants seeds in your desert and makes it grow, or to someone who just lets it dry out in the hot sun? Setting limits means making smart use of your time and energy, not with haughtiness, but with the cool resolve of a Stoic who understands the value of his time and worth. It's about talking quietly. This is where I draw the line, because I won't give up your peace. With this attitude, let's go forward. Every day is a chance to paint your work and put your energy where wonders grow. Always keep in mind that setting limits for yourself, out of respect for yourself, is not an act of anger, but one of knowledge and self-respect. Today, start by making it clear where your yard stops and the wild begins. Don't cut people off. Watch as the scenery of your life changes. 4. Take charge of your bad thoughts. It's interesting that the way we talk to ourselves can either protect us or hurt us when we're around toxic people. Imagine that your mind is a garden and each thought about yourself is a seed. Planting seeds of strength and perseverance helps us stand strong, but when we add toxic weeds like self-doubt and fear, they choke out all the good things. That's not the whole story, though. Stoicism is an age-old way of thinking that helps when you can't just walk away. What happens to us doesn't matter as much as how we handle it. We learn from Stoicism that real strength comes from how we respond. So, while you're dealing with the rough waters of someone else's bad effect, pay close attention to the things you say to yourself. Don't ask yourself, why do I have to deal with this? Instead, think about, how can this experience make me stronger? You can build up your strength, your ability to understand others, or your courage to stand up for yourself. Change the way you see things. It's not just messing around with words, it's taking back your power. Getting away from something is a small but important thing you can do. It's not cold or uninterested. You're just picking carefully where to put your energy. Visualize someone's mean comments as arrows. Those arrows can't hit you if your self-esteem is a shield that can't be broken. You will still feel the pain sometimes, but know that those arrows can only hurt you if you let them. So, think about this for a moment. How often do you let negative things going on around you affect the way you talk to yourself? Building a wall around your heart isn't the only way to control this. You also need to know your worth, understand that your response is your power, and sometimes just choose not to give up your peace. Stoicism isn't about not feeling anything. It's about picking which fights are worth your blood. Remember that you are the only person in this world that you can really control. 5. Be smart about how you use your energy. The rough seas of dealing with toxic people can test even the most stable minds. Let's look at energy intelligence as our guide, though, and see what we can learn. Think of your energy as a wall that keeps out bad things, like an old city wall. It keeps you safe and at peace. Think about the freedom of choice in these settings for a moment. You can choose what fuel to put in your car, which affects how well it runs and how long it lasts. Similarly, you can choose how to interact with people who drain your energy. Your superfuel can be responding with kindness and understanding, or just deciding not to engage at all. This will keep you on track and improve your mental health. Avoiding strife isn't the point. The point is to get smart and make choices that are in line with your peace. Using this intelligence is more than just being able to control yourself. It's about making a space around you so stable that not even the strongest storm can shake it. You can't be moved like a tree with deep roots in the ground. That's not because the wind doesn't blow around you, but because you know how to bend and sway with it without breaking. The toxic energy is disarmed by this strength and flexibility, so it has to go away or move on. 6th, keep your eye on your own goals. Putting your attention on your own goals is like turning on a lantern when it's dark outside. When you're around toxic people, it's easy to lose sight of your goals and let their negativity get in the way. Focusing on your goals, on the other hand, acts like a screen, keeping you from being distracted and helping you keep your mind and emotions clear. Take a picture of yourself steering a boat through a storm. Even though the waves are big and the wind is strong, you have your goals to guide you. These goals are like a rock that holds you steady when things get rough. When you think about what you really want out of life, other people's bad thoughts start to fade away. Focusing on your goals also helps you keep a long-term view, which is different from how determined you are to reach your dreams. You can see that the short-term problems that toxic people cause are just things that are getting in the way of your success. You don't let them break your courage. Instead, you see them as tests that give you more strength as you work toward your bigger goals. 7th, get help when you need it. Sharing your problems with someone who gets it can help you see ways forward that you hadn't thought of before, just like a single candle can light up a dark room. These are the people who give us strength by telling us of our own mental grit, not by facing our fights for us. If you had a smart older person by your side, they would give you advice based on their many years of experience. That's the kind of helpful support that can help us handle toxic relationships with kindness. To use our stoic strength, we need to know when to get help from someone else's point of view. Understanding that we can't control what other people do is important. We can, however, control how we respond to what they do. By practicing Stoicism, we can learn to step back and look at things more objectively. When we zoom out on a map, we can see other ways that we might have missed when we were looking at the details. By asking for help, we give ourselves time to breathe, think, and carefully choose our answers, making sure they are in line with our ideals and our inner peace. Now, take a moment to think about times when you had to deal with difficult people. How did you find your way through these waters? Have you tried to handle things on your own, depending only on your own strength? Or have you looked for that unbiased view that could make all the difference? Do not forget that being a Stoic does not mean being quiet or suffering alone. Instead, it means knowing when and how to use the knowledge of others to make the way easier and clearer. 8. Uses methods that focus on finding solutions. This way of thinking makes it possible to turn these exchanges into chances to learn and grow as a person and as an emotional intelligence expert, instead of frustrating ones. As you might expect, it takes imagination to change the plot in toxic relationships. It's like chess. You have to plan your moves ahead of time and guess how people will behave without getting upset. To do this, you need to listen more than you speak and react quietly, which is a skill that many people admire but few actually possess. Being creative in this way helps you keep the peace and avoid getting caught up in the chaos. Being able to change is your best friend in these scenarios. Keeping your ideals in check while dealing with tough people is what it means to be resilient. Like a tree, you're strong at the base, but bendy in the wind. You move, but don't break. This strength of character makes you stronger when you face the winds of life and gives you the tools to handle any storm. Now I want you to think about how you respond when someone is mean or trying to trick you. Remember that you may not be able to control the appearance of toxic people, but you can control how you react. Remember that in the big picture, what makes us unique is not the problems we face, but how we solve them. 9. Can spot fake kindness. In order to deal with toxic people, you need to be aware of the signs of fake friendliness. Marcus Aurelius once said that it is stupid to lie to yourself and hope that no one knows that they hate or dislike you. However, it is even more stupid to let yourself believe that someone really does love you. It's important to be aware of certain signs of fake friendliness when interacting with other people in order to spot false cordiality. Some common signs are shallow movements, too much praise, and actions that don't seem natural or forced. Check to see if the person's actions and words fit their body language and facial reactions. If they don't, that could be a sign that they are lying. Also, pay attention to any rapid changes in the person's voice or attitude, as well as any patterns in how they act over time. By being able to spot fakery in others, you can protect yourself from bad people and build relationships based on honesty and trust. Keep in mind that real kindness doesn't need to be hidden, and it's best to be around people who are honest in everything they say and do. 10. Work on being emotionally detached. As we've already said, emotional separation is like a trip to inner freedom. Along this journey, we learn to separate our feelings from other people's actions and words. It's like being in the crowd of a play. We enjoy each scene and act, but we don't let ourselves get fully involved. Even when confronted with toxic individuals or difficult circumstances, we are able to stay composed and rational. Eckhart Tolle, author of The Power of Now, says that emotional detachment is key to keeping your inner peace when things are going crazy around you. This viewpoint encourages us to free ourselves from the need to control or cling to the feelings and actions of others. As Tolle tells us, detachment does not mean that you should own nothing. It means that nothing should own you. For a greater sense of inner freedom and the ability to handle toxic people and tough situations more easily, we can practice emotional separation. As we work on being emotionally detached, we build up our inner strength, like a castle that keeps us safe from emotional storms that might happen around us. Water is fluid, soft, and yields to the obstacle. However, there is nothing more powerful than water. There is nothing that can resist in the same way. When we learn to let go of our feelings and situations without holding on to them, we find an inner strength that makes us unbeatable when bad things happen. In short, emotional separation lets us be ourselves and stand firm in our truth without letting other people's thoughts or actions shape who we are. We can find inner peace even when things are going crazy around us, when we go on a journey of self-discovery and strength. 11 helps you feel kindness for yourself. When we're caught up in our relationships with other people, we forget to be kind to ourselves too. A lot of people who are toxic make it easy to be hard on yourself and question your abilities. Having care for yourself, on the other hand, is like watering the seeds of loving and accepting yourself. If we think about this basic idea, Carl Rogers' words, "Self-acceptance is the first step towards self-improvement," might help. By being honest about our flaws and accepting them with kindness, we can build a better relationship with ourselves and eventually with others. Being compassionate with ourselves doesn't mean ignoring our flaws. Instead, it means being honest about them and trying to get better from them. We learn to be kind and patient with ourselves, just like we would be with someone else, instead of being hard on ourselves for our flaws. With an armor of honesty and kindness, it helps us get through the rough waters of toxic relationships, to remember us that we deserve love and respect from ourselves and from other people. 12. Put your own health first. Taking care of yourself is very important for keeping your mental and emotional health in good shape, especially when you're dealing with difficult people who are toxic. Spending time caring for your physical, mental, and social health gives you the strength and energy to face problems with a clear mind. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anyone else? Says RuPaul. Putting yourself first helps you set healthy limits and keep a good attitude, which makes it easier to deal with difficult people. Learning to recognize and deal with worry is an important part of taking care of yourself. Dealing with toxic people and difficult situations can cause a lot of mental stress, so it's important to have the tools and skills to handle it well. This can include things like deep breathing exercises, ways to rest your muscles, and things that help you unwind and recover. Taking care of yourself also means making sure you have good, supportive relationships. This might entail being around people who promote, support, and give you the courage to develop. You can improve your support network and make an environment that supports your mental health by setting clear limits with toxic people and actively seeking out positive connections. So, remember that taking care of yourself is an important part of keeping your mental and emotional health in good shape, especially when you're dealing with toxic people. Putting your health first and doing things that are good for your whole body and mind will help you face problems with more calm, clarity, and strength. 13. Don't get into fights that aren't required. Advice to pick your fights carefully has been around for a long time, but it's never been more important than it is now, when every contact can feel like a trap. Having to deal with toxic people is like going through a dark maze. You never know when you'll hit a wall. You don't have to run into every wall you see. Instead, you need to feel your way around them and decide which roads are worth taking. Some fights are just wastes of time and energy because there is no way out or prize at the end. This is something that can save you a lot of trouble. It might surprise you to learn that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. Silence can be stronger than speaking. You take the wind out of their sails by choosing not to fight. You don't have to ignore the problem, you just have to choose not to let it control you. Spend your energy wisely because it is valuable. Avoid the mistake of thinking that by fighting or speaking with someone, you can change their toxic behavior. It's like putting out a fire with gasoline. It makes the fire worse. Instead, challenge them to consider the problem from a different angle by asking them critical questions. It has to do with moving from arguing to talking. This method won't always work, and that's fine. Even if you lose some fights with them, you should still try to keep your peace and honor. Don't forget that everyone has their own problems, some of which you don't even know about. Being patient gives you time to think about what to do next, instead of just reacting. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you smart. Remember that being stoic doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you don't let your feelings control you. You have to pick and choose where to put your energy, since you can't fight every battle. When you're about to argue with someone, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is it worth it? 14 of them learn to forgive. Forgiving someone is a relief that lets you let go of the anger and hatred that can build up after dealing with toxic people. It can be hard to forgive people who have hurt you, but it's important to do so because it frees you emotionally. Nelson Mandela said, "Forgiveness sets the soul free and takes away fear." This is why it is such a strong thing to do. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you agree with their bad behavior or forget about the harm they caused. Instead, it's about realizing that you have the power to end your pain and move on with your life. When you forgive someone, you let go of the pain of the past and make room for more inner peace and mental health. Furthermore, forgiving someone gives you the chance to set healthy limits in your relationships. When you let go of your anger and bitterness, you can set clear limits with toxic people and keep yourself safe from harm in the future. Buddha said that forgiving others gives you the strength to keep a positive and helpful attitude, even when things are hard. Forgiving someone is a kind thing to do for yourself that can help you heal and grow, but it may take time and practice. You can find new chances and better relationships in the present and future if you let go of the weight of the past. 15. Take care of yourself. Last but not least, I want to tell you of something important. You are very valuable, and no one else can take that away from you. It's easy to forget how great you are when you're dealing with chaos and toxic people. I'm here to remind you, though, don't let what other people say about you define you. The thing that makes you unique is who you are. The only difference between brave people and others is that brave people have the courage to do it, even though their inner voices tell them not to, says Brené Brown. This means that even though things get hard, they make you stronger and braver. Your worth is not based on what other people think of you, but on how you see yourself. Get back up, get rid of your worries, and remember how great you are. No one can deny that you bring something special to the world. You are strong enough to face any task and get past any problem that occurs.